This is Butch Queen Realness. This is the category Schoolboy Realness. A Butch Queen is a gay male that is both masculine and feminine in expression. Now, Schoolboy Realness is like a default category for young men coming to Ballroom because it's very easy to stand there and be real because it's something that we all know how to do. But essentially, you throw on a book bag, you stand in front of a panel of queer individuals, and they pick who looks the most heterosexual between you two. And that's Schoolboy Realness. Next up is Butch Queen Pretty Boy Realness. It's like a step up from Schoolboy, but it's more of an aesthetic category. It's more of a beauty category for quote unquote heterosexual looking gay men. So it's about having that pretty smile, having pretty hair, having beautiful skin, and while also looking like you're heterosexual. So that's the secret. Sometimes this category can get a little aggressive just because realness is a category about toxic masculinity. You're suppressing all your feminine ways in front of a panel of queer individuals who are going to choose who looks the most heterosexual. Next up is thug realness. These men look like they may rob you. They look like they sell drugs on the corner. It's interesting though because today's thug doesn't really look like this. Today's thug carries a purse with a Glock in it. So this category is so far behind in Ballroom. But I think if we actually reflected what heterosexual people did, it would just collapse Ballroom entirely. Because realness in today's age looks nothing like realness in Ballroom. Next up is executive realness. This category is very simple. You throw on a suit and you look like you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and the judges pick who looks the most heterosexual between you two, even though you're both. Then you also have everyday realness, which is weird because sometimes it can be like about being a 9 to 5 worker, like a blue collar job. And then other times it's like a thug realness part two. Like the boy on the left, thug realness part two. And then sometimes it's just about having a beard. Like this category really makes no sense. It's just an extra category for cisgendered men to have. Like men have so much when it comes to the category of realness. And again, queer individuals on a panel will pick who looks the most heterosexual. Next up, we have athletic realness. This is when homosexual members of the ballroom community throw on a jersey or some sports apparel, rub their chin just like any other realness category, and the judges pick who looks most like a heterosexual athlete. Men have so many realness categories. Next up is sexy realness or distinguished realness. This is basically a category for when pretty boys age out and they're not as youthful anymore, but now they're sexy. Now they're distinguished. And again, queer individuals on a panel pick who looks the most heterosexual. Next up is Butch Queen Up and Drags Realness. This is a category for cisgender men to get up and dress up like a cisgender woman, like a heterosexual woman. At its core, it is a category for cisgendered men. Granted, it may be a stepping stone for some trans women, may go through drags realness and eventually walk femqueen realness. But at its core, this is a category for cisgendered men, and the judges panel picks who looks most like a heterosexual woman. This is Kiara Prodigy on the left and Kiara Prodigy on the right. She walks drags realness, but she's also walked in one schoolboy as well. This is femqueen realness. This is a category for people who were assigned female at birth and they socially transition, medically transition, surgically transition into women. This category is so odd to me because you have to do so much to prove that you look like a woman, that you act like a woman. You gotta shake your body, you gotta get your face touched. Cisgender men never have to get their face touched or go through these type of things when they walk realness. Only trans people.
Hold up, girl. This is a checkpoint right here. If you are enjoying this content and you're not subscribed to the channel, stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe. It's free. I appreciate you and I'll love you down. Thank you.
This is schoolgirl realness. Similar to schoolboy realness, But this is a femme queen who looks like she's going to high school or college. This is a once in a blue moon category. You cannot be in a house and have schoolgirl realness be your main category the same way that a butch queen could have schoolboy realness be his main category, because it's not held often enough. This is a once in a blue moon category. Maybe it comes around once every 3 or 4 years. Similar to schoolgirl realness, this is femme queen executive realness. This is a once in a blue moon category. You cannot be in a house and have executive realness be your main category as a femme queen the same way that a man could have executive realness be his main category. It's a once in a blue moon type of deal. This is pretty girl realness. You cannot be in a house and have pretty girl realness be your main category the same way that a pretty boy could have pretty boy realness be his main category. It just doesn't work. And this is what I mean by femme queen realness. You have to do so much to prove that you're a woman. Women don't walk around shaking their chest, grabbing their boobs, but it's something that women have to basically make caricatures of themselves walking these femme queen categories, shaking their body, fluffing their hair. Women don't walk around doing this. Next up is trans man realness. This category is for people that were signed female at birth, but they socially transition, chemically transition, or surgically transition. The judges are judging each competitor based off who looks most like a heterosexual male. But the thing with trans men categories, a lot of the times it is like battle of who has the best surgical scars, whose voice is the deepest, whose body is the most built, even though men come in all shapes and sizes anyway. Trans men also don't get as many subset categories. Like there's no trans man schoolboy, no trans man pretty boy, no trans man thug. But essentially, when you walk trans man realness, you are walking thug realness. Usually they want to see who looks most hard. At this one particular time, they had trans men sexy realness. But that didn't stop the trans men from showing who had the best surgeries. Like a lot of times those categories, trans men categories, are about your body type, how muscular you are, and your surgical scars. And that shouldn't define what a man is or what a trans man is. It's just wild to think about that cis men can just stand there and exist, but trans individuals have to do so much to prove their identity to queer individuals on a judges panel. Like trans men have to show how long and luscious their facial hair is, how muscular their body is. Trans women feel compelled to show their ID, shake their body, shake their booties, flick their hair around, and just be caricatures of themselves, all to prove their identities to a bunch of queer individuals on a panel. Trans individuals have to do so much to prove their identity in ballroom. Trans individuals are just so much more underrepresented in ballroom in comparison to cis men. Like cis men have 8 categories that they can virtually walk at a ball, and trans individuals are reduced to usually one type of category. It's just not fair. Hey beautiful, I love you. Make sure you tell yourself those 3 words every day. Those words are magic.